This is a book ball summary of the book Reinvent Yourself by James Altucher. The era we live in is one of relentless change. Whatever we're dealing with, whether it's technology, work, or politics, the ground always seems to shift under our feet. Due to this, we continuously face new challenges, and if we're to be successful, we must adapt continuously. The reality is, however, that this isn't always easy to do. Is there a way you do it? It is through the implementation of strategies that you'll be able to continually reinvent yourself, and this is the key. By doing so, you'll be able to meet the challenges of modern life. It is said that Muhammad must travel to the mountain if the mountain will not come to him. Adapting to the world won't happen, so start adapting to the world now. The road to success is no longer a linear, fixed, and pre-established route. Once upon a time, the road to success was straightforward. You earned a degree, landed a stable job, and saved up for a comfortable retirement. This road has become a thing of the past, and yet many people are still trying to follow it, saddling themselves with debt from student loans, credit cards, and mortgages along the way. You need to blaze your own path and avoid letting your career or job title define you. Google is a company that exemplifies reinvention. Its co-founder Larry Page doesn't let his degree define him, and his job today isn't about tinkering with software by solving major societal problems. Breaking free of your degree or job title is easier said than done, but mentors can provide guidance. To find a mentor, do some research on a person you respect and want to learn from, and contact her with ideas that might help her. For example, when the author was seeking mentorship from someone who had written an academic article, he didn't just read the article, he sent feedback, thus providing value as a mentee. As you continue on your journey, provide your mentor with progress updates every 3 months. That way, she can see her influence on you in action and feel appreciated. Finally, don't just seize opportunities to meet up with your mentor, create those opportunities. It might even be worth going as far as to fly to another country and send her a message saying you're available to discuss an idea further. Practice your passion on a daily basis and think back to your childhood to find your passion. If you're finding this video to be enjoyable, show your support by liking it and subscribing to my channel for even more fantastic content. Your encouragement means everything to me and drives me to keep creating videos for you. Some of history's most creative people have also been the most prolific. Pablo Picasso created 50,000 works of art, and Jimi Hendrix recorded nearly 70 albums. Barbara Cortlandt set the world record for writing the most novels in a single year, and she sold 600 million copies of them. The rapper Coolio set his heart on becoming a famous rapper and wrote lyrics on a daily basis for 17 years. In 1994, his perseverance paid off with his first big hit. Coolio suggested practicing any skill until you achieve your breakthrough by following his lead. Choosing which one to practice is difficult, but how do you do it? How can you tell which one lies in the direction of your calling? One way is to recall your childhood and ask yourself, what did I love doing or dream of doing back then? Which activity made me lose my sense of time while doing it or imagining doing it? There lies your calling. It might not seem practicable, but even if it was childish, it can still give you a starting point from which to set out. Chip Conley, the head of hospitality at Airbnb, for instance, was led into a career in the hospitality industry by relocating the hours he would spend imagining he was running a restaurant as a child. And a friend of Chip's went from being a dissatisfied lawyer to a world-renowned pastry chef by remembering the pastime of her 6-year-old self, making mud pies. Your burning desire will enable you to overcome obstacles and conquer your fear of failure. Imagine waking up every morning feeling so motivated and excited about the day ahead that you practically bolted out of bed. Wayne Dyer was an orphan who overcame many obstacles to become a professor and author. After his book sold only 5,000 copies, he went on a cross-country adventure to convince bookstores to sell his book. He also tried to appear on national television, but was rejected by every producer. But once again, he refused to give up. Instead, he drove from station to station and promoted his book face to face. Thanks to his tenacity, he was able to take his initial sales numbers and multiply them by 7,000. Wayne Dyer says that by burning with a burning desire, you can overcome your obstacles and conquer your fear of failure. The Rolling Stones proved this by performing 200 concerts per year, despite earning little money from them and attracting audiences as small as 4 people. We should strive to help others with their pain and channel our own suffering into our passions. Imagine a world without borders, one where trade flows freely between nations, innovation flourishes in its wake, and people extend their generosity to everyone, overcoming their ethnic, racial, and social divisions. Wouldn't this be an ideal world to live in? Well, it may take many years for this vision of the world to be realised. but we can still live by the values that animate it in the here and now by continually striving to benefit others. One person who embodies such a spirit of generosity is Pope Francis. Here is just one example. A young woman became pregnant, and her husband pressured her to have an abortion. Wanting to keep the baby, she divorced him. Afterward, she sank into depression. Desperate, she sent a letter to the Pope. A few weeks later, her phone rang, and, to her surprise, it was Pope Francis himself. He comforted her over the phone, and later, he even baptized the baby himself. If you think about it, such an act of kindness is remarkable. After all, the Pope leads an enormous, nearly 2,000-year-old institution. Pope Francis embodies such a spirit of generosity, and he frequently takes time to call ordinary people who write to him, just to bring some happiness into their lives. The Pope earns plenty of adulation for his act of kindness, but he actively discourages us from viewing him as some sort of moral superman. Now, it's clear that we should try to alleviate other people's pain, but what should we do about our own pain? One answer is to channel it into our passions. Someone who did that to great effect was the rapper Eminem. Growing up in a poor family in a trailer park, he suffered many tribulations, which continued into young adulthood with a slew of familial betrayals and bad jobs. However, rather than stewing in his troubles, Eminem used his pain as a grist for his creative mill, transforming it into material for the rap lyrics that would eventually propel him from underground rap battles in Detroit to worldwide superstardom. Serena Williams started training with her father when she was just 3 years old, and achieved her first success at 10. She kept practicing and competing and has 23 Grand Slam titles to date. Charles Bukowski, who was young when he got his first 2 stories published, returned to writing with a newfound sense of resolve, and eventually attained success with his first novel, Post Office. Besides challenges, being broke can feed your inner fire. Damon John's fire was sparked when he sold 80 wool hats for $10 each, and he started the clothing brand Fubu, which is now worth $6 billion. Every business has a set of values, and if you lose sight of them, you run the risk of losing your way. Dick Yueng Ling's family-run brewing company is still going strong, despite reaching its 5th generation of ownership. When you make a decision out of fear, it generally points towards underlying insecurity. The author himself once took a job out of fear, but after 3 days he simply got up and walked off into the proverbial sunset. We hope this video provided valuable insights and information for you. Whose way do you aspire? Charles Bukowski or Damon John? Let us know in the comments, and if you've learned something new in this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. Thank you, and until next time.